The first episode of Watchmen premiered this past Sunday, and we here at IndieWire wanted to dive a bit deeper into the audacious narrative gambit showrunner and longtime Watchmen fan Damon Lindelof and pilot-director Nicole Kassell succeeded in pulling off. Based, but not completely reliant on the 12-issue comic run Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, every frame is seemingly packed with Easter eggs to reward fans of the comic without alienating new viewers. It's with this in mind that we want to dive into one or two elements from each episode with strong links to the comics. Note, this won't be an exhaustive dive into every reference, but feel free to share your favorites in the comments below. It should be stated that spoilers will follow, but only for the pilot episode, so any speculation that turns out to be correct is completely coincidental. Again, spoiler warning. Last chance? Spoiler warning. So the pilot ends with Regina King's Angela Abar, aka Sister Night, encountering the arresting tableau of Louis Gossett Jr.'s Will Reeves next to the hanged body of Don Johnson's Chief Judd Crawford. What follows is a long tracking shot, following the rope, the body, and finally the Chief's badge sitting on the ground, where right before we cut to black, a drop of blood falls and splatters across the shield. This is without a doubt the most overt reference to the comics, echoing the blood splatter on the comedian's badge, which serves as the opening images of the books and the inciting incident for the events of Watchmen. For starters, who is the comedian? Briefly seen in footage from American Hero Story, Edward Morgan Blake, aka the Comedian, was a masked vigilante and member of both the Minutemen and their spiritual successors, the Crime Busters. After Congress passed the Keene Act, effectively outlawing heroes who didn't register, the Comedian and Dr. Manhattan became, for all intents and purposes, pawns of the US government. He is described variously in the comics as deliberately amoral with a practiced cynicism, meaning that he usually has little regard for social conventions or human life. There are violent episodes in the comics where he massacres an unarmed Vietnamese woman and sexually assaults one of his fellow heroes, Sally Jupiter, aka the Silk Spectre, whom he also eventually fathers a child with, Lori, who went on to become Silk Spectre 2, and who we may see in coming weeks based on the post-show trailer. Always in character as the Comedian, he described the world as a sadistic joke that only he understands. Remind you of anyone? In the comics, the Comedian is murdered by Adrian Veidt after stumbling upon the so-called smartest man on the planet's master plan to avert mutually assured destruction via nuclear war by faking an alien attack which killed 3 million people in New York City. The blood across the smiley face can have many interpretations, but you don't have to dig deep to read it as the happy face the Comedian sported for the world was masking a terrible sadness and some truly despicable action.
It's a joke. It's all a fucking joke.
As the blood splashes across the badge, one can only assume that there is corruption and darkness splashed across everything associated with it. Whether that means Chief Crawford himself was a member of the 7th Cavalry, or if it is just the police state he presided over. Either way, it's an amazing image, and one that likely left viewers, whether fans of the comic or not, stunned as Poor Judd is Dead from Oklahoma began to play over the credits.
He looks like he's asleep. It's a shame that he won't keep. But it's summer and we're running out of ice.
What was your favorite Easter egg from the episode? My second favorite was likely how the castle Dr. Manhattan is building on Mars looks suspiciously like the one on Jeremy Irons' as of yet unnamed character's estate. Until next time, quis custodiet ipsus custodies.